Yo, welcome back to the channel. Since we're still waiting for engine parts for our Project Cherokee here, we're gonna go ahead and address the suspension today. I don't know if you can tell, but it's sagging. Yeah, you can tell. I got 2 new leaf springs for the back, 4 new shocks, and since we're keeping this thing stock, it's all factory replacement stuff. Also gonna be pulling out the rear axle, checking the brakes, changing the fluid, stuff like that. Let's get into it. I hope the shock bolts don't break. Nope, they will. Got her up in the air, ready to go. Now I do have a few concerns about this job. It's easy on paper, 10 bolts or so, and just swap the parts out. But like I hinted at, the 2 top shock bolts, they're gonna break off. It's gonna happen. Then we have to air hammer. There's welded nuts in the unibody, gotta air hammer those out. But there's actually a pretty simple solution to that. I'll show you when we get there. The other concern I have is for the leaf spring mounting bolts. So inside the rubber bushing, there's a metal sleeve, and what happens is the bolt will actually rust fast to the sleeve, and you can get it to turn, but it's leaking coolant. Anyway, you'll be able to turn the bolt a little bit, but it'll never actually come out because it's rusted to the sleeve. So that involves a lot more cutting and sawzawing and air hammering, and I really hope that doesn't happen. I've been soaking this thing with penetrating oil for the past week. So we'll pull the wheels off, pull off the drums, check out the brakes, and then we can get that axle out of there. See how easily this drum pulls off. Hey, still plenty of pad left on the shoes there, so that's good. Don't have to worry about that. On this side at least, we'll have to check out the other side. Holy crap. Now, I never claimed to be an expert at anything, but that definitely looks like a hose clamp holding the leaf spring together. And, oh, that's cracked clean off right there. That's funny. You can see everything's wet. Like I said, I've been lubing everything up the last week. Let's see what it looks like on this side. Well, look at that. It's cracked just like the other side. Oh, that's completely loose. No hose clamp though, so I'm not sure why they didn't fix this side. Let's pull this drum off. Wait. Same deal. The shoes look pretty good. Since the axle is going to be coming out, that means the brake lines are going to have to get undone. Same with all the U-bolts. Pulling the axle is actually pretty simple. Just got to take out the drive shaft. We have the U-bolts, the 4 I was spraying down, brake lines. I did forget though that in order to get the emergency brake line released, you actually need to take apart the drum brakes, and then there's like 3 little tabs. So I'm gonna get to pulling apart the drum brakes, taking off all the springs and whatnot, and then we'll yank that axle out of there. Got that old 8 1/4 out of there. Now, before we go tearing right into this, I think we're gonna go ahead and open this can of worms. I'm really curious on what it's gonna do, if it's just gonna be seized in there. So let's try and get these leaf springs out, see how it goes. All right, we're just gonna put the Big Daddy right on there and rip it full throttle. Let's see what happens. Wow. Well, it's probably gonna be what we expected. Throw a breaker bar on it. I don't know if that's a gonna snap right off kind of turn, or if I actually made progress. I'm gonna crank on it again with the breaker bar. Just holler at me if I should stop. Ooh. Progress. Definitely getting easier to turn. Glad I didn't resort to cutting, because I think this is about to work. Nice. That went better than my XJ, which is less rusty than this one. So let's go ahead and try the back while we're on a roll here. Oh, right on. Nice. The bolt not spinning is kind of concerning, but all right, crank on this side a little bit. Oh yeah, it's seized. Considering that we have a new leaf spring, I don't really care about cutting it, and we have new hardware. Got the Sawzall. Don't worry, John, I have my PPE. See about getting in here. I'm gonna have to keep working at the rear shackle bolt here. I'm waiting for a big battery to charge up for that. In the meantime, I came over on the driver's side, got this bolt out with the breaker bar. Again, I'm waiting for another battery to charge to get that out the rest of the way. Hopefully it goes all right. And then I got the nut off back here. Same story as passenger side. We're just gonna have to Sawzall that thing out. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but that's what we're gonna have to do. In the meantime, on the axle here, we're gonna start getting this thing wire wheeled and hit it with some paint. This brake line broke off, so that's gonna need to be replaced eventually, probably not today. And then this one might as well be replaced. So I'm gonna take these brake lines off, take off this bracket, wire wheel it, and we'll shoot it with some paint. Making progress back here actually, but first, I wheeled the axle up here to get overspray on the vet. Got it wire wheeled and wiped down and got some paint on there now. I think I got 2 coats on there, but back up here to the war zone. I'm getting creative. So this one's out, as you can see. I was able to get the right side the rest of the way with the Sawzall, but I was just eating way too many blades and batteries. So on this side, I cut off the head of the bolt with the cutoff wheel, and then I was able to wiggle it out the rest of the way. So that's out of there. For the driver's side, the front bolt came out pretty much the same story as the other side. I just had to kind of pry it out as I backed it out with the gun. That came right out. And then for the back shackle, I didn't want to keep eating Sawzall blades, so I cut off this end with the cutoff wheel. And I've been working at it with the air hammer. It's actually making progress. I didn't think it was at first, but I just, stayed on it for minutes on end. And it is slowly but surely getting out of there. So I'm gonna keep hitting it with the air hammer on this side, see if we can get it all the way out. Because I'd like to not bring the cutoff wheel on this side since the gas tank filler neck is right there. That side had a shield on it, so I wasn't too worried. Commence a lot of noise. Well, screw it. I give up. At least I have a fire extinguisher. All that time just to be safe. Not worth it. All right, we got him out. What a pain in the butt. That took many hours. Got it done. I'm gonna take a minute to clean up and gather my thoughts. And then we'll head under and we'll check out the shocks. Going in. Oh. So here's our upper shock bolts. Nice and crusty, as you can see. Like I said, they're gonna break right off. I'm not even gonna try and back them out nicely. So let me get you set up and then we'll rip them out. No way that didn't break. What is the world? I am amazed. Well, forget everything I ever said. Let's try the other side. Okay. I'm not mad. I'm just... How are they not? What the shit? Since I already bought it and shipped it here, let me show you what you need if these do break. Real quick, these are just welded nuts in here, and if you take your air chisel, you can chisel them right out. They come right out, and then you have access right here to kind of help them along or whatever. Let's go top side so I can show you something. I don't know why those didn't break. I feel like I have no credibility now, but anyway, like I was saying, if they were to break, use your air chisel, get them out. Then you're going to want to pick up a kit like this. Let me open it. This is what they call a flag nut, something or another. These particular ones come from Iron Rock Off-Road. And once you chisel out the welded nuts that are in the unibody, you, well, let's just show you. You would feed this guy in here, and then it sticks out so you can hold it, and then you just line up your bolts, and it's all dandy. But we don't have to do that. But that's all right. These will go to use. I'll put these on my other XJ when I put on my new lift kit, because mine did break when I put on my original, my 3-inch lift kit, and I just had to rig together some hardware. So these will be a nice upgrade. Putting some anti-seize back on the hardware, so hopefully we can pass along the luck. We can get one of them started. We'll get the shock, hook it in there, get the other bolt started. The torque spec on these is... All right, got our new shocks in. let's get out of here. I guess the next thing to do would be install our new leaf springs. Got our leaf spring laid out. It's already got bushings pressed into it. Me and John did that last night. We're gonna install the front first because that's solid. And then when we do the back shackle, it moves around a little bit, so we're gonna have to line it up. I also got new hardware, again from Iron Rock Off-Road. They sell a hardware kit for all your suspension components. First I'm gonna blow that hole out because it got pretty dirty. Then I think what we'll do before we put the leaf spring in, we'll coat this thing with anti-seize. And I think we'll just run it in, just kind of make sure everything's good to go. Back it out and do it for real. I'll try to get her in there straight. And then we're just gonna leave it at that, kind of snug before we torque it down. We'll do the back. Now we'll try and get the back lined up. Ooh, we might line it up on the first try here. How about that? Again, this is all new hardware. They were nice enough to include 2 different sizes for the nut and the bolt. We're gonna torque this right away to 80 foot-pounds. And then we'll go 115 on the front here. There we go. We got both leaf springs under there, and we brought our rebuild axle back around. We gotta get that thing slid under there. Lining up our new center pins with the perches is always fun. So let's get on it. All right, everything's buttoned up, good to go. Brakes are back on, wheels. So let's let her down, see what she looks like. I mean, it's stock, but it actually looks like way up there, but it's gonna settle. It almost looks like a lift kit, but it'll settle eventually, maybe, hopefully. I was gonna change the fluid on the diff, but I ran out of time and I actually forgot about it, kinda. And the drive shaft's not in, that's for another day. And I still have front shocks, but that's definitely for another day. That's gonna wrap it up for this one, guys. Stay tuned. Engine parts should be here soon, so that will probably be the next video on this Jeep. But thanks for watching, take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.